Hi, my name is Popo Tsunami and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a filmmaker, VFX artist, and animator. And after lighting over 100 scenes for clients, here are 5 tips to help you get better at lighting your 3D scenes in Blender. Tip number 1 is taking advantage of shadows, which is basically ensuring that your scene has bright values but also dark values. So for example, this scene looks well lit, but if you were to look at the image feels flat because the background is lit, the character is lit, but they kind of feel similar. So the lighting is not allowing for depth and it's not allowing for the scene to look cinematic, which you would never find in a commercial or a movie project. Now, if I were to just move the key light, which is this spotlight over here, to the back of the scene and then change these overhead lights to match the color of the key light, as you can see, the lighting setup has basically created depth to the image while simultaneously making this very simple scene look very cinematic. As you can see, this scene is literally just a plane for the floor, some bookshelves, and then this arc. But by rearranging the light setup, I have made the scene look a lot more cinematic and a lot more dynamic. Now, if I were to flip back and forth between these two renders, you can see a very flat looking image and an image that looks like it could be out of a movie scene. So the trick here is literally just having a bright spot in your scene, a dark spot, and then another bright spot. You can literally repeat this over and over again. I've done this in multiple scenes where you can see the same setup: darkness, light, darkness. It doesn't have to be typically like fully black. It just has to be consistently well lit. Tip number 2 is light linking. This, in my opinion, is one of the best features of Blender 3D. It basically allows you to create light setups that affect only one object in your scene. And what that enables me to do is light both my object and my background separately without any of the lights affecting each other. So for example, for this scene, if I were to turn off the lights, as you can see, my character is still well lit. And if I were to turn off my character light and turn on the background light, the background is lit, but the character isn't well lit. The advantage that this gives you is you can light your character the way you want to without worrying about the light's impact on the environment. So for example, if I were to turn off light linking for the main spot in this scene, what I would have is a more washed look for my character because this light is illuminating both the chairs, a little bit of the background, and the character. If I were to render this out, which I'm going to do real quick, and then flip back and forth between this light and the previous light setup, you can clearly see the difference. The previous light setup is linked in such a way that I don't have to light the chair because the light is linked to the character, which gives me an overall more beautiful image than if I were to just light the scene without light linking. So here's how to do light linking. You select your light, you click on object properties, you look for shading, select the collections icon, and then you select the collection in which your character or the objects you want your light to affect is inside, and voila, your light is only affecting the objects in that collection. Tip number 3 is IES light. So here's the same shot lit with the default Blender light and also lit with an IES light. As you can see, the lights are set to the same power and the same color, but the render results are so different. For the IES lights, you can see the realistic light roll-off, which helps you prevent the CGI skin look. And then from the default Blender lights, you can see that the lights feel a lot more harsher, even though they are set to the same bar. IES lights basically use real-world light profiles from actual studio fixtures, photometric data that mimics how light rolls off in film and photography, which basically helps you create an overall more pleasing image as opposed to the default Blender light. Tip number 4 is adding God rays to your scene. So here's how I set up God rays quick and easy inside Blender. First, we need to set up a volumetric fog. So let's make a big cube, scale it over the scene, then change the material to principled volume, reduce the density, and plug it into volume. Let's add a spotlight to the scene, increase the brightness, reduce the radius, decrease the spot size. Click use nodes, then search for free leaf gobo textures, download something that looks like this, plug in the texture, and voila, you have your god ray. If we add a mapping node to this, you can adjust the patterns, and you can also use the radius to adjust the softness of the light. I've left a pack of my favorite gobo textures in the description. You can download that and use it for your project. And tip number 5 is edge lights. This is basically the one thing I do after I'm done lighting my character. As you can see, adding an edge light to your character basically helps you separate your character from the background while also having the added effect of making them look more interesting in the shot. An edge light is very simple to do. It is quite literally just a light in the background that is set up to point at the back of my character. I mean, let's compare a shot without the edge light and with the edge light. As you can see, the difference is clear. That's all for today, guys. Please drop a like, subscribe, and a comment. It means the world to me, as this is a brand new channel and it needs all the love possible to succeed. Thank you, and see you in the next video.